The views expressed on this show do not represent those of NTV or its staff.
Welcome to this session of NTV People's Parliament, seated here at Gulu District Local Government Main Hall. Madam Speaker, after the insurgency that rocked this part of the nation for over 20 years, husbands and sons died, leaving behind widows. Now in Acholi land and the rest of northern Uganda, land is owned communally by clans, and so women have no individual rights to own the land. This has left the widows and other women fighting for their very existence for the smallest portions of land that was owned by their fathers and husbands. It's against this background that I propose we discuss the land question. Should women inherit land in their ancestral homes?
Those in favor, aye. To the contrary, no? Ayes have it. You are welcome to NTV People's Parliament, sitting here in Gulu District. And the topic is, should women inherit land in their ancestral homes? As you are aware, no honorable members, Northern Uganda experienced an armed conflict pitting government and the rebel resistance army led by Joseph Kony from the late 1980s to 2006. The conflict almost displaced the entire population, and by 1990, thousands and hundreds of the residents were living in internally displaced people's camps to avoid abduction by the rebels. But when the war ended, many people left the camps to return to their former villages after about 20 years in IDP camps. The journey back home was not easy, especially for women, with many facing a lot of challenges related to access, ownership, and use of land. So the question is, should women inherit land in their ancestral home? I'm Agnes Nandutu, the Speaker of People's Parliament, chairing this very filled up house in Gulu. And before we go into this discussion, I want to give an opportunity to Honorable Member Regan Okumu to give us the background to this communal tenure system in this region. Yes, Honorable Member.
Madam Speaker, the Constitution of Uganda of 1995 gave powers to the people of Uganda to own land. But then there was some land that belonged to government, various types of land. But also government did not own land as individual, they own those pieces of land on behalf of the people. So at the end of it all, land belonged to the people of Uganda. So
do actually women have ownership of land here in northern Uganda?
You see, this ownership here, according to the custom, is not personalized. The ownership is a family ownership, where both the husband and the wife and the children must have rights. Now, a daughter who is back home has a right over that same piece of land.
Okay.
But unfortunately, Madam Speaker, the practice today is people have abandoned the actual tradition. People are throwing women. They call women mere women. They throw out children, especially after the war when children, their parents have all died. People go and grab their land and go out. These are the major challenges that we continue to confront. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Thank you. I think you have had the background of the land tenure system here. And does this land tenure system have any impact on the productivity and the usage of women here in northern Uganda? I have an expert opinion. Can I have the microphone, because this lady cannot stand up? Does this land tenure system have any impact on the productivity and usage by women?
Madam Speaker, my name is Pamela. I am promoting women land rights. Today in northern Uganda, the common language now in the corridor of courts and council is land wrangles, land grabbing, land dispute, land conflict, and all this affecting highly percentage of women and children. The most common position of women now in this region, they are known as laborers. They are known as farmers. They are known as domestic workers, opposed to citizens with a sense of responsibility of ownership, access, and utilization of land. A number of women suffered eviction, denial, family divorce, others also death. We've handled cases where huge numbers of women are thrown out of their land, and yet they are widows. And the kind of terrorism done on these women is that if they have male children, they begin by arresting their sons, locking them inside so that they can fall prey for, eviction. Madam Speaker, just in 2004, September last year, there was a record of 300 land cases recorded in Amoro. And among these, 45% were women. Madam Speaker, if women are thrown out of families, that means the livelihood of families are under threat.
Thank you, Honourable Member, for that very important background. And now I have somebody from FIDA. Why do you think it is necessary for a woman to inherit land in this particular location? In just 3 minutes, please. If you want to speak to these points that they have given the background, please, you raise up your hand and I will select you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Atim Margaret. I'm from FIDA, Uganda. I wouldn't say that I would think that women are supposed to inherit land. Women are entitled to land as per the Constitution, as per the Land Act, as per the Succession Act, and even under custom. We have had a problem going through communities where the major reason a man would raise for denying a woman access to land is our culture. But we have worked in this region for about 8 years, and we have worked a great deal with the cultural institution here, and we know that the cultural principles are in place which also support women ownership to land, even if it is customarily owned. Now, women, as my previous speakers have already said, are the major breadwinners in this region. Let us be clear, we are not helping the women to have access to land. It is their right, it is their mandate as people born, as being born as a person. Being born as a person, the Constitution already says that they have a right to own land. Under our customary practices, women who are married in 2 families already have that right by virtue of being married to own land in their matrimonial homes. But what is the practice? We are handling very many widows who are being thrown off by their brothers-in-law. Is it out of impunity, or is it out of these men not knowing that they're actually doing an injustice to the women? We have many women who are being thrown off land that belongs to their husband by their fellow women. We also have the women who have returned from captivity being rendered homeless. But what does our cultural practice say? A woman who has children whose father is unidentifiable has right to inherit land in their paternal home. You're supposed to be able to welcome this woman and allocate her land. By virtue of being born in that home, she has equal right, just as a son who has been born in that land, to be assigned land. What about the woman who comes back from her marital home? We have many men who say, oh, a woman is going to get married, but how many women have come back from their matrimonial homes? They are supposed to be able to be assigned a portion. Yes, they are going to get married, but please reserve that portion for them. When they come back, they need to cultivate, and that is their right. We are not helping them.
Thank you, for Honourable Member, for that very important. Honourable Member, you are a man.
Yes.
Why are you throwing women out of land?
Nothing else, it is greed. We are chasing these women so that we have space to sell the land, and the outcome of the resources we are getting is for drinking and buying borders. Nothing else. Ladies and gentlemen, unless we believe that the true children we have in our home are the children of girls. The children of boys sometimes they are just brought to because he's able to. But the truth, the children of the girls are our real children, whereby we have no reason of throwing those kids away. They are our real blood.
Probably we should get rid of greed, honorable members. Yes.
Yes, Madam Speaker, honorable members, and the House at large. So I want to just comment on something very small about customary land ownership.
Silence in the House, honorable members. What is your point of order, honorable member? Can you have the... Take the microphone, please.
Madam Speaker, is it in order for a honorable member of parliament to speak to this caucus house with his specs on his head like that?
You are out of order, honorable member, please. Can you
Okay.
Thank you. Go ahead and make your point, please.
Okay, the point I want to raise here is we have to repackage our perception of land ownership. We must not confuse it with selfish interest. We must not confuse it with the idea of patronage. We must not confuse it with anything else, but it must come in the context of democracy and gender sensitivity. I am urging all the men in this house that let us rally behind the women and have equal access to land ownership. I rest my point.
Thank you. That is wonderful. I'm very happy that men are very supportive of women owning land in this region. So let's go for a short break. And when we come back, we are going to discuss what can we do, what can be done maybe by policymakers, maybe by local government here to ensure that these women are given rights to the land. Welcome back. You are still watching NTV People's Parliament sitting here in Gulu District discussing the land question in relation to inheritance by women. And all the men here have agreed that women should actually inherit land both in where they are married and in their homesteads. Yes, honorable member, have you been affected? Can you give us your testimony, honorable member?
Thank you, Madam Speaker and the House at large. Once again, I'm Akelo Diana. I am from Laibi Teko Parish. And my experience, during the war, our family was not at home. By the time we came back, our uncles had taken part of our land and even sold it off. When I returned home, they told me that women have no rights of ownership in their homes. But I told them that I am a well-informed woman and I know my rights. And what I did, I decided to keep the pressure by taking the buyer constantly to the police station, constantly, until he realized that there was no freedom in taking the land.
Our women participate. 85% of farmers are them. They're the one in the garden. They're the ones struggling with school fees. And they get stuck when they come to secondary education for their children. They get stuck in paying their children when they come to universities. And we need to be open. One, define the issue of customary land. It is being mixed up as if it is main land. All of them are saying my father's land. What about your mother's land? We have to borrow leave from the people of Lango. In Lango, a woman has a portion of land at our place, maternal place. She go and marry, and if anything happen, bad or not bad, she have the right to go and occupy that place. The brothers keep that portion for her in trust, and the children have peace.
Thank you, honorable members. I think you have heard the people speaking. Though women are the main breadwinners in the homes, they don't have access to land. Yes, honorable member.
First of all, I'm a widow. My husband died. Before even my husband died, when he was in bed, they began to chase me away. The relative of my husband, my in-laws, that I should go away simply because they need the land to be sold up and they use the money.
Madam Speaker, as mentioned by one of the honorables, Article 15, subsection 1 provides that the people of Uganda own land. But in this male-dominated society, with Calvinism all over the place, we have fears that most women do not see when they push these rights. We have pastoral wives. You move from one family to another. And when they move, they sell off the land of that family. And that's the reason as to why we don't trust the women. if for once women decide to stay in their marriages, you lose a husband, you stay in that home. Madam Speaker, there was a point that was missed out on customary land. Earlier on, the question of inheritance.
What is it, Honorable Member? Can you have the microphone? Are you bringing the Honorable Member to order or you are giving information?
Precurrent Speaker.
Please give him information.
Madam Speaker, permit me to inform the precurrent Speaker that the issue of marriage and divorce is not solely the responsibility of a woman. In any case, it is men who initiate frictional issues and chase away the women. What if a man is divorced from the woman? Must he lose his land rights? That is an abusive word.
Honorable Member, you have been informed that the women do not go by themselves. Actually, you chase them from the homes and sell the land.
Madam Speaker, I do not recall saying divorce in my mouth. My point was, you find women who get married to men, their husbands die, they look for another man, they go to another family, from one family to another. How many pieces of land do they want to own?
Thank you. Order, order.
My last point.
Order in the House, Honorable Members. Order. Please, what information do you want? You are raising a lot of issues, Honorable Member. Please. Yes.
I would like to inform the current Speaker that marriage, you cannot use the word pastoral in marriage. Yes, marriage is one. If I get married here, I cannot go and contract another marriage. If you decide to take on another woman because her husband died, it is her right to get married. You can, and a marriage ends upon death. The man has died. You're not going to say she's being pastoral.
Yes, just in 1 minute, please. Can you wind up?
1 minute.
And can you please make your points with information, backing up with information? You can see the issues you're raising among women here.
Madam Speaker.
Order in the House, Honorable Members. Order.
Madam Speaker, my point is, I did not say you don't have a right to get remarried, but you can't be owning land in all those families where you were married. That's one point. However.
Okay. Why are you getting married from clan to clan to inherit land? Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Lucy Lapoti. I feel it's very important for women to have land both at home and at the marriage place. And specifically on young mothers that come back from rebel captivity. Some of them come with like 4 or 5 children. And that is where the challenge of customary land comes in, because mostly...
Can you have your phones in silence, Honorable Members?
Mostly when these women come with male children, the problem begins from arrival. They are not always wanted in that particular community because they carry male children. They can easily accommodate it when they have female children.
So as a woman, what do you think can be done to ensure that you have rights on this land?
I support that because one, if I come with my children from captivity, young as I am, maybe I'm 15 or 18, my children can remain in my piece of land at my father's place, and if I get married somewhere else, I can own land, I can access land there with my children.
Now, what defeats my understanding is that a woman is supposed to have land where he's married, but not a man to have land where the woman comes from. What's the logic behind all that? We are all equal.
We have another father here, please. Can't you give land to your daughter?
Madam Speaker, in economics we say land is one of the factors of production, and women form part of the production at home. When we are talking of land issue like this, we cannot segregate women. Personally, I was brought up by a woman. My mother inherited her husband's land, which she kept it for 70 years, which we people who are living now are still keeping the land as a record. I would like to take this opportunity to urge the people of Uganda to try to revise some of the law in land. There are greedy people who are from now, every now and then, are grabbing land, especially in our own region here.
Which information do you want to give, Honorable Member? Can you have a microphone, please?
Madam Speaker, if the precurrent speaker talks about composition of laws in Uganda, I would disagree with that proposition. I would rather advise that he thinks about the enforceability of some of these laws that we have in place. I want to mention two fundamental laws that don't segregate women. We have the Registration of Titles Act that is operational in Uganda, and we have the Land Act that is operational in Uganda.
So why are women getting problems in owning land?
The problem is that the interpretation has not been given correctly to the people. The people have not been sensitized about their rights, and therefore they have no legal discourse they can take in times of the crisis. Thank you.
Honorable. What information do you want to give? There's a lady here.
I'm called Lamunu Peace Elizabeth from the constituency of Human Rights Focus. We do a lot of community work, especially with women and access to land and land rights. The main challenge we found is that men and some other community members, including women, have gone around to utilize the laws that we have to the detriment of fellow women. When you look at cases being reported at police and cases going to court today, 90% of the cases reported are land-affiliated cases. You have cases like arson, malicious damage. They are all stemming from a land conflict. Now, these cases are pushed on. Being of a criminal nature, they are given priority. This has gone ahead to victimize women who are having these conflicts, and it's now twisted to be a criminal matter. They are taken behind bars and being denied access to land.
Thank you. Thank you for that information. Please, can you wind up in less than a minute?
All this information has not touched my point at all. So,
can you go ahead and make your point, please? Just in 1 minute, wind up.
Yes. I am trying to emphasize that the information are only relevant to what I have been saying. What I'm driving at is to give percentage of women, the percentage of women who really contribute to the development of a home. I really appreciate this one very much, especially the customary land law, which I say most of the customary land are trying to marginalize the women. So, Madam Speaker, all this information, I back this that the women must be given power for development because land we have, the factors of production are mainly composed by the women.
Thank you, Honorable Member, for that information. Yes, Honorable Member. Yes. What do you think should be done to ensure that you own land both where you're married and your ancestral home?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to say that land issues is key in this region, and not only this region, is the entire world, I think. And
so what do you think can be done to ensure that women own land?
As women, we say we must be given our rights fully. Those who are abusing our rights are men with their attitudes, because they always say once a woman is married, she must go and settle at her home. And when we have problem again, we run back to our homes. And from there you find even our women are being chased away from home by their brothers. So I would like to say women should be really given full power of their portions of land in their homes and in their marriages.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The house here is hot, and you are still watching NTV People's Parliament, sitting in Gulu here, discussing the land question. As you see, It's actually very hot and everybody wants to give a contribution on what should be done to ensure that women own land and inherit land in this particular region. When we come back, we are going to look at what should be done, which policies should be changed to ensure that women own land in this region. Welcome back. You are still watching NTV People's Parliament sitting here in Gulu District at the district headquarters, giving the people of Gulu and northern Uganda an opportunity to voice out issues that affect their everyday life. And one of the issues affecting them here is the land question, the ownership of land or inheritance by women. And the women are speaking. Now what we want to do is, what we want to talk about is what can be done. What are the policies that can be put in place to ensure that these women and the young girls own land where they are born and in places where they get married, because they are really the big breadwinners in the homes. Yes, Honorable Member, you are a member of Parliament down there in Kampala, and you are the people making policies. You have heard from women. What are the policies you think should be put in place to ensure that these honorable women inherit and own land, actually have rights on the land in this particular region?
Madam Speaker, I would like to begin by appreciating NTV for having brought People's Parliament to Acholi sub-region in Gulu District. I would like to thank you so much for that. Madam Speaker, when you talk of land problems, I am telling you in Acholi here, people who suffered most are women. Recently, when you talk of land wrangles in Acholi, many people look at Amoro, where I come from. And Madam Speaker, recently we had so many evictions in Amoro. And when the evictions were being done, you find women are mostly affected. Madam Speaker, unless we change the policies of land, we may not go far.
How do you think we should change these policies, in which direction?
Right now, Madam Speaker, is a responsibility of members of Parliament.
Your responsibility.
Exactly. It's our responsibility to make sure land laws are properly streamlined. Currently in the Parliament of Uganda, we have few individuals who drive members of Parliament to the direction where they want to go. For example,
we don't want to bring politics in this Parliament, Honorable. We want to see the policies that want to help, that will help our women inherit land here.
Madam Speaker, currently, we have some proposals that are in the corridor.
Yes.
Saying when a minerals is got into your land, government has got power to acquire that land, and that land automatically turns to be the government land. That is very risky for our people, Madam Speaker.
We want solutions in terms of policy, Honorable Member. You are down there in Parliament. You were voted to go and represent these people. What are the policies you think should be put in place to protect these women?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Here, in as far as Acholi sub-region is concerned, I think we should start addressing right at home. First of all, about culture. Culture is dynamic, it's not static. But sometimes we think that culture is static. You know, when we talk about your children, you may have 2 boys and 2 girls. Give them, share what you have equally among them, so that if your daughter gets married, can still also utilize the land at home. So let us not discriminate women.
You have the podium. What do you think should be done? What are the policies you think should be changed to ensure that women inherit land? Just in 1 minute.
Madam Speaker, I think one, we are here lamenting. And I wish all these men who are talking positive about women could go down to the roots. I think all this could have stopped. Madam Speaker, 2, we should look at the laws that are there in place. How do we enforce them?
Speak to the people.
3, I want to talk about the accessibility to justice for women. We should enforce the laws, and I think we should give our mothers enough information I think our women are lacking information about their rights.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Yes, what are the resolutions? The solution is to this problem now.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Call me Olanya Billy Graham, Councillor, 5 representing Odek Sub-County and Gulu local government. I have only one issue to solve problem of women, especially in Acholi land. That is to learn about responsibility and roles of our children within our culture. In Acholi culture, we treat men as a defense. Lady, we neglect them. And if we transform that within our cultural institution, we give equal responsibility to both boy and girl. They will have equal responsibility.
Thank you, Honorable Member, for that. Please, in 1 minute, what do you think should be done? Order in the House. What do you think should be done in 1 minute, Honorable
Thank
Member?
you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my name's Anne Sabiti. I represent the people of Badege.
Order, Honorable Members, to allow her speak.
Madam Speaker, to me, I support what my colleague has said, that most of these women of ours, they don't know their rights, especially those ones on the ground. These women need sensitization. They should be sensitized to know that they also know their rights.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Member. The Honorable Member wants sensitization of policies in this region, and that lies in the responsibility of some NGOs and members of Parliament. You should sensitize people. Yes, Honorable Member, what do you think should be done?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. To me, I would like to say women who come back home to their brothers, failure to their husband place where they are married, they should respect customary land by training their children to respect the customary land, not to group themselves without the consent of the administrator of the land to sell land and start running away with the money, so that you start from parish to ship magistrate. You find that land is still stuck. Nobody can use the land because court junction will be there. So we women, we are also good to have right on the land, but at the same time, we ladies who are back home with our children, we are making our brothers really crying so much. Let us have mercy on them when we are back home.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Member. Yes, you have a very burning issue. What is the resolution? What do you think should be done?
There is issue of the land taking to the courts. I think we need to drag the land issue away from the courts to the cultural institution to be handled. Because we have one challenge, you realize that the issue of the land is being handled at the magistrate court, in that even the chief magistrate does not even speak the native language. And there you bring actually the game of the money, and yet we neglect the people, especially the
So
women.
you want the land issues to be handled by cultural institutions?
Exactly, that is my own opinion.
Thank you, Honorable Member.
Thank you.
Please, what is your burning issue? Can I have the police? Can I have the police to give us an overview? Please, Afande, come and take up the podium.
One thing I want the August House to understand is that when it comes to land usage, is a complementary factor that both men and women are supposed to participate equally. The reason why we are seated here is to see how equally we can use this land. Now you find a situation where women themselves use their status of being a woman to evoke their children to have access to the land and sell the land. That is not right of a woman. That is one of the reasons why people are having wrangles in land.
It is hot in here. Yes, Afande. You are the people handling these land cases. How bad is it?
What I want to put clear here is, as the police, we do not handle land-related issues. It is only being mistaken that police handle land-related issues. Police comes in only until when the issues has become criminal. For example, a situation where it has come to a murder, assault, criminal trespass, and others. That is where the police always comes in. It is very true that on many occasions, the women has really been left behind issues related to the land, how they are supposed to inherit. But of course, as the police, we go ahead, as long as the issue has been reported, aware that there are evidence backing up the report which could have come, definitely as the police, we shall do our investigation, and we forward the issues to court. But what I want to appeal to members is that as issues of land, on many occasions, as the police, we have been advising people to go for civil suits because it is very strange that the police sometimes handles that issues of the land. But what we advise people is they should go for civil suit so that you go and struggle before court. It is the court now to determine. I want to give an example where in our region here, in the district of Lamont, it has become very easy for the court ruling to succeed, where you find the court go down the ground and they do their ruling from the ground. It's unfortunate that on many occasions the court do not. But if you looked in that one of Lamont, it is actually working on well. Madam Speaker, this is what I can
Thank you. We are now going into resolutions. And I want the people from behind to speak. People from behind, yes. What are some of the resolutions? The honorable members of parliament are here to take your resolutions to parliament. Please, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Honor John Paul. What we should do, it is true that women really suffer, but the rural women suffer more than the women within the urban centers. And why? It is because women are not allowed to participate in meaningful decision making. At household level, community level, it is worse. And that's why sometimes the contribution and participation of women are not appreciated, especially by the men within the household.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I have a Honorable Member here. Please wind up with the resolution from...
The problems that we're having following from the previous speaker, cultural leaders are mandated to handle land issues. LC1s, LC2s cannot handle cases, so our first court of instance is going to be the magistrate's court. There is nothing we can do about that. All courts are well instituted, not just for the Lamont court. All courts do locus, so the rulings they give are rulings that are based on evidence as presented. The laws that we have in place actually do support women ownership of land. The problem that we are having as an institution and as other institutions that have worked with women, our women need to get empowered. There's just so much we can do. We are going to talk, we are going to
empowerment
do
of
you
women
need to
is
be
the
empowered.
solution to the whole problem. Yes. In 1 minute, what is your resolution?
I'm still Honorable Kwan Alfred, representing Kaja Division, Bulu Municipality. Yes. The issue of the land is the women are being affected in two ways, either directly by men or indirectly by fellow women.
Order.
One of the case in point, a woman can be married to one man, a man is having 10 acres. That means he has the right to that land. If a man brings another wife in that 10 acre of land, don't you think the right of that first woman over that 10 acre of land has been violated?
So what should be done?
The way forward is, I see that there should be a law specifically on land ownership of women.
In 1 minute, what do you resolve? What do you think should be done?
My point is only one.
Yes.
When we go back, these issues of land grabbing, sidelining of women has never been there. Why? Land was intact. But now we are more than quadrupliced on the same piece of land. That's why we are tearing each other apart. Now the best way forward is, let us dialogue at family level. Then we go to the clan level. Unless we do that, we shall not cut down the escalating street kids.
So dialogue should begin from the family to the clan level.
When we get into dialogue, right from the house, wherever we go now out, we now know our position as a family.
Thank you. Honorable Rigan, you are the people making policies in parliament. You have had the people have spoken, and the men are very positive that women should actually have rights on the land. Which kind of law do you think we can focus on in parliament to ensure that these women have rights and they really have the rights to own land?
Land issues are supposed to be settled. The process should begin at the level of LC2. But we have two problems, as you have heard. Our parishes here are too big that at LC level, they may not even know land boundaries in villages. And therefore, what I think in the proposed amendment that is coming up, we wanted to reduce this to a level of LC1 and Ruori Query, because it is this Ruori Query and Ruori Okoro When I talk of Rodi Kweri, they are basically male. Rodi Okoro are basically women, because they are the one who knows the boundaries of land, so that they get involved at the village level in dispute resolution over land. The challenge, the current challenge with the LC2s is also that they are acting illegally. You know very well, the land people who are in this room, you've gone to court, you presided over land matters, and you have sought a recommendation from LC1, from LC2, and yet you know the same court actually overruled that LC1 and 2 do not exist. Let us also focus at land reform policies for land redistribution. If every country, we cannot subject land like tomatoes, like clothes, like salt in an open capitalist market. It will infringe on the rights of the most vulnerable person in the rural areas, and the most vulnerable person is the woman. So if we should come as a country and say there must be a limit as to how much, Madam Speaker, you should ask a person on land.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Because of time constraints, we cannot go beyond this. I think you have heard the people of Gulu have spoken. The men are very positive that they want women to inherit land, but what should be done? The power is in the hands of government to ensure that policies are directed in such a way that these women have a legal right on this land. I am still Agnes Nandutu, the Speaker of People's Parliament. I adjourn this House until next week.
The views expressed on this show do not represent those of NTV or its staff.